Hello, how's it going? Today, I'm going to take a little stroll to a forest nearby my house called Royal Roads. Yeah, it's a nice little place I like to go time to time for a walk. Just recording over the audio and video I took on my walk. Yeah, so it's about my favorite time of year to do this walk. It's early spring or mid-spring. Most of the pollen is dropped, so I'm not going to be sneezing every 5 minutes. And yeah, a beautiful view of Victoria, British Columbia on the horizon there, just before we get into the forest. So yeah, let's enjoy. Gotta say, that is one pretty kick-ass trailer there. So here we go into the forest here. Use my COVID arm to elbow to open the gates, to use my hand. And we're about to enter the forest. Gates shut. Perfect. And yeah, here we go. So this is just the start of our walk in the forest, a little up at the canopy. And here we go, down the hill till we hit the riverbank. So I've lived in this area for the last, God, 15-ish years, and I've walked in this place numerous amount of times. It's lucky enough to live nearby here with the ocean and the beautiful forest. It's a great place to go to get away from it all. You can still hear traffic in the background a bit, but when you get deeper in, it will disappear pretty quick. And Royal Roads is like a professional college nearby. They do not so much the direct university courses, but kind of that secondary learning after you get through university. If you want to specialize, being a project manager or a whole bunch of different stuff like that, you know, that secondary business school. It also has Hatley Castle, I believe it's called, which is used in a lot of movies. I think most famously X-Men. I can't remember if they used it in Deadpool or not too. It's basically the castle or Xavier's house and the academy in those movies, I think. Anyway, we're not going to go there today, but this forest is part of the, I wouldn't say the campus per se, but the railroads owns it. It used to be, I think, a military college, and now is a private institution. Anyways, enough blabbing. Let's continue the walk. So we're almost at the riverbank. Get ready for some extreme social interaction coming up right here.
Howdy.
Could have went a little smoother, but just around the bend here we'll start to approach the river. So this is a bit of an interesting path. You know, it's not so much in the forest, it's a little break. I like the little river here. Sometimes when it really gets hot in the summer, I let my kids run through here, or the dogs. No leashes yet. Or leeches, not leashes. Yeah, so there's a little river. Runs down into, I think probably down in the Esquimalt Lagoon down below. But lots of skunk cabbage here. And I believe if you keep walking down this path, it will take you to Hatley Castle. I'm going to, at the end, hook a left, which will go back into the forest. But yeah, beautiful day. It's a nice little break from the forest in the middle of the walk. So I've noticed over the last month or so on the right-hand side, there's been slowly. This used to be just a field, but it looks like they're dumping in some gravel, and they got some more gravel put back there. I wonder if they're lining a new creek, or I'm not sure what the hell they're doing here. To be bluntly honest, maybe some piping to put a fire hydrant or something in for in case there's a fire. I'm totally guessing, but it's been interesting. Keep my eye on it. I'm not sure what the heck they're doing here. There's been talk, about them giving some of the land away for development, so I wonder if that's what's going on, but it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Maybe they're building up from the street down below, but we'll see. I'm guessing. I don't know if I should look into it. Alright, now that I've got my shoe tied up, we can keep on exploring here. This is a really cool path I found the other day. I usually go up the main road, but there's a little side path over here, and you'll see there. It doesn't show up too well in the film, unfortunately, but there's a pond up on the left here, and there's going to be a bit of a steep hill, but it's not too bad. Steep hill isn't here yet. You'll see it when we get up over this ridge. But I just thought this area of the forest was pretty cool. The trees look a little creepier than the other areas, and lots of interesting vegetation. That's just a cool little path. So there's the pond. It's looks cooler in person. Fortunately, it didn't show up too great on the camera, but it's not anything amazing. Kind of a bit of a swamp more than a pond, but there you go anyways. And I just thought it looks cool in here. Alrighty, back onto the path here. Let's check out some of these old trees. It's pretty cool. They're really tall too. But you can see up ahead here there's a rather steep hill, so I'll probably be breathing pretty hard when I get to the top of it, so apologies for that. But yeah, and this looks like it'd be pretty fun to go down on your bike. And there's some little biking trails back here too, which will be fun on a mountain bike. So you might be wondering what all that stuff falling from the sky is, and as it is the middle of spring, there's a lot of pollen and seeds and stuff falling from the trees as I catch my breath in the background there. That hill is a little steep, but yeah, when the sun shines in like that in that open area, it was just raining a whole bunch of stuff down at me, which is nice when you're breathing hard climbing up a hill. But hey, it's spring, it's outside, you can't complain. And then yeah, you can see this is a bit narrower of a path, and I don't see any tire tracks. It might be, I'm sure some people come down here on a bike, but lots of trees you could hit. It's more of probably a walking path like I'm working on right now. But yeah, right now it's pretty deep into the forest. You could hardly tell you're in the middle of a suburban area. It's a nice forest when you get in pretty deep. So great time for the wind to pick up right when you're in the middle of the forest, but thankfully I survived this trip. I know in my videos I say, yeah, this is not a place you want to be walking around when it's windy out. There's a lot of down branches, and we've had a number of huge windstorms this winter. Trust me, having a tarp on my roof for a number of months, I noticed each one greatly. Thankfully, my roof is now fixed and don't need those tarps anymore, but it's there's been a lot of debris down in the forest this year. It's nothing too crazy, right? Like maybe 90-kilometer-hour windstorms at worst, but a lot of them back to back to back, and a lot of rain. It's been it's nice that it's spring. It's been a stormy winter, that's for sure. Not a lot of snow or anything, but a lot of windstorms. And you can see on the right hand side there, we're just on the edge of the forest now. They're coming up here. There'll be a fence and a path out to get into Colwood proper, the neighborhoods around here, and up the hill will be the fire station. We'll walk behind it as we keep on trekking forward. But even still, it's not a busy street or anything. It's still pretty peaceful in this part. So that's a pretty big tree that fell down there, eh? Didn't want that to fall on your head. Yeah, so this is, because we're on the edge of the forest, it's not so dense as where we were before, and it'll be like this for a couple of minutes while we basically walk up the side of the road here, and like I said, we'll hit a fire station. Once we hit the fire station, we'll kind of loop back onto the main path. This is more of the main path where you'll run into a lot more people on this path, more so than the other one we're on, but yeah, it's still very nice. So even though it's windy, it's still really sunny out today. And this is one of the first really beautiful days of the spring. And we've been blessed with some really nice weather pretty much since, maybe had a couple days in a row where it's rained and been cloudy, but mostly every day's had some pretty brilliant sunshine around here the last month or so. which is nice because it was pretty bleak. Like I said, over the winter, a lot of rain, a lot of wind. Not so bad when you're trapped inside most of the time, but still, it's nice to be able to. You can see on the ground here still some mud and puddles from when it rained heavily last. And sorry for my awkward stepping as I try not to soak my shoes. Oh, there we go, right in the mud, but that's all right. It'll dry off quick. And we're starting to head a little bit back into the forest here and get ready for the world's worst directions coming up by yours truly here.
How's it going? If you keep on going up, you'll hit the fire hall. You know the Colwood fire hall on Machosen Road. If you take the path to the left, it's about 5-minute walk, and you'll hit the fire hall. You'll know when you're right close to the fence, and you'll see the road. If you want to get out to the road, you can exit right there too. I'm not sure what that one's called, but the one it connects to at the top of the hill is Machosen Road. Yeah. Hey, no problem.
How about that for some expert directions? Hopefully I didn't make them get even more lost. I should probably look up what the road is there. You know, I've only lived in this neighborhood for, what, 15 years, and I still don't know hardly any of the road names. Mostly one of those landmark navigators more so than road name navigators, but hey, still no great excuse. So you can see the wind's picking up a little bit. Always, like I said, you get a little nervous walking around here in the wind, but thankfully that's about as bad as it's going to get today. Alright, I lied a little bit about the wind, but this is definitely as worse as it gets right about here. And thankfully I'm not in the super deep woods, so there's less of a chance of something falling on my head around here. It's still, usually when it's like this, I tend to walk elsewhere. So you can see back there, there's the Colwood Fire Hall, and they got some of their trucks back there, and a nice little fire hall there. They do some cool community events for Halloween. Probably not much lately of the whole stupid virus going on, but before it, you know, great place to take the kids when they show off all their fire equipment in the summer, and they put a pretty good Halloween party together. In fact, Colwood's been doing a lot on the community event stuff, and it's been rather nice the last year before. Fortunately, the virus has put a kibosh on that kind of thing, but it's been a nice change lately. Before that, with some of the community events to go to with the kids. And I thought this tree looks pretty cool. Just seeing big old tree that got knocked down who knows how long ago, but just so massive, and then the underlying root structure looks pretty cool too. You don't see that every day. Well, maybe if you're walking the forest you do, but just, you know, something you can easily walk by and not pay any attention to in here. But there's a lot of cool things to look at. And so we're probably approaching on the right-hand side here is the most traversed part of the woods, because you'll have a couple of gates here that are right in the middle of suburbia, and a lot of people will take their dogs in on these paths. They're flat, easy to access, quick 10-15 minute walk to get out for some fresh air. If your dog, let them take a pee in the woods or a dump-a-rooney. But yeah, it's pretty dead still today, because this was still, when I filmed this, right in the middle of the COVID mayhem. Not mayhem, but you know, just everyone still very afraid and very locked down in their houses. to date, thankfully, hasn't gotten too bad here. People seem to be outside adventuring more. There was some question at this point how vulnerable you were to catching it outside, but since the local health authorities have said, keep your 6 feet distance outside, but even if you get even a bit closer outside, the chance of catching it is relatively very low. So you see a lot more people outside these days, and even on my next couple videos I filmed, you'll see more and more people. But it's pretty dead in here today, and I think it's a mixture of the wind. One, people probably don't want logs to fall on their head, and two, like I said, this probably filmed this a month ago or so, and there's a lot less traffic going on outside than there is as of today. So there's some ant hills that are up and around the corner here we're going to check out. And it's actually my son and my wife who found them initially, but since finding them, I think they're pretty cool. You'll see up around the corner here, there's some raised mounds in the dirt that are easy to walk by, but it's actually ants that have made gigantic ant hills that are pushing up the flat earth up and making big mounds that they're just infested with ants. But it's pretty cool to look at it. You'll see in just a sec here. There just must be a massive... they look like the same type of ants. I'm not sure if there's like a massive colony of them underneath the dirt there, or if there's two different colonies. But anyways, I thought that was pretty cool. So we're just gonna cut through the school here, head back home. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm gonna experiment a little bit of how I film these and record, if it's working better to add voice post a trip, or if I should just talk while I'm walking around on the phone. The next couple of videos, I got one of the Esquimalt Lagoon, and then I'm actually gonna head into the campus area of railroads, not just the woods, as I fumble around trying to shut that gate with my elbow. And you can see all the playgrounds here are all taped off, and people have been actually really good about not going on them, so it's always hard to explain to the kids when you walk by why they can't go on them, but I've been trying to be honest with them about that. Just, yeah, you don't want to get sick. And here's Sangster Elementary, obviously closed right now, but, and a lot windier in the open field. Anyways, I'm going to sign off now, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you very much.